Take all that long to get back up as qualifying results coming up on your screen. Harry Stewart, Aston Rodriguez, Matthew Johnston, Caden Barker, Jordan Richards, Alec Inslee, Ashton Phipps, Shane Van Gisbergen, Hayden Guptill, and Jordan McDonnell, your top 10. We've got 5 heats on the program for tonight. Let's take a look at heat race number 1, the Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. 8 laps is going to be the distance. Top 2 will go through to the main event. Very quickly, there's short laps around here. Harry Stewart, Alec Inslee in row 1, Luke Wilson, Regan Edwards, row 2. Row 3, Mitch Favish and Terence Dorrell, Dylan Cook and Ayrton Smith in row 4. Ricky Brett, Nathaniel Miller, row 5. Kevin Hopkins and Braden Morosky in row 6 with Taylor Bryant in row number 7. There we go, just to get Taylor Bryant on there as we get set. Heat race number 1. And let me know how that is. Hopefully it's a lot better than what it was. Thank you, Jordan. It's good to be back. Set for a start. 8 laps is on the board. Top 2 to the main event. Everybody else to last chance qualifiers. And right away, heat race number 1, the SimBlacks National Midget Championships is underway for season 2022. Stewart leads the opening lap. Inslee runs in second position. Then you go back to Edwards and Wilson. Edwards on the inside. It's like Edwards on the outside. Wilson is on the inside. Slides up is Harry Stewart in front of Inslee. Then he turns back underneath him. Inslee down to the inside as we head down in to turn number 1 and 2. 8 laps to distance. Oh, nearly a little bit of contact there. Right rear to left rear. Both Stewart and Inslee both keep it together. Working down the back straight away. We've really got to get a better camera angle. It's not all that good. Again, we watch from the press box here on the start-finish line. Stewart and Inslee go 1 and 2 at the moment. Stewart, of course, back-to-back National Midget Championships as Inslee works around the outside. He runs the middle of the speedway. 2.5 to go. Edwards and Wilson still working side by side. Your top 4, you can throw a blanket. Couple of car lengths back to Mitch Favish. Running out your top 5, Alec Inslee. Still your race leader at the completion of lap number 6. Shielder's got some work cut out for him as we work through turns 3 and 4. Wilson stuck on the bottom side. He's trying to get a run on the inside. White flag is out. 1 to go for your race leader, Alec Inslee. You work down into turn number 3 and 4. Stewart going to try the inside line. Is he going to have it? No. Alec Inslee will win. Heat race number 1 of 5. Oh, Matt. Good comment. Comment of the night so far. Heat number 1 results coming up on your screen. We'll quickly move through the results into your starting grid. Inslee, Stewart, Edwards, Wilson, Favish, Dole, Brett, Smith, Morosky, Cook, Bryant, Miller, and Hopkins. The 13 drivers it was, and 13 drivers in heat number 2, Aston Rodriguez and Ashton Phipps in row 1. Row 2 going to be Craig Silby and Brad O'Brien. Row number 3, Caleb Curry and Sam Waddell. Row 4, Noah Campbell and Brendan Partridge. Row 5, Cooper Wilson and Max Donnelly. Row 6, we've got Angus Moore and Matt McCutcheon. And Marco Giltrap rounds out the 13-car field for heat race number 2. I think I need to zoom in on the camera angle a bit, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Let's see if we can make one little adjustment on the fly. Preset is going to be max quality. Let's try that one. Well. Here we go. Heat number 2 of the SimBlacks National Midget Championship season opener here at Cedar Lake, brought to you by New Zealand Sim Racing. Ashton Phipps and Aston Rodriguez in row number 1, and it's going to be Aston Rodriguez to lead him down the field. Phipps trying to jump the start there. 1K heading back towards the pits, or they're spinning towards the pits, I should say. That's Max Donnelly in the 25 machine. It's going to be Aston Rodriguez who will lead lap number 1. Craig Silby runs in second position down on the bottom side of the speedway. Almost popular, the midgets. Still 1 car upside down on the back straightaway. That's Sam Waddell in the 18 machine. Slide job there by Aston Rodriguez. Ashton Phipps and Craig Silby both go back down to the bottom, down the back straightaway. 3 wide, nearly off turn number 4. Rodriguez and Silby putting on a nice little show up front here. They've got to be careful because Phipps and Curry, along with O'Brien, they will be there waiting to pounce from a potential mistake from either one of the top 2 runners. And at the moment, it's still Aston Rodriguez. He's starting to get 4 wheels up into the marbles. Through 1 and 2, he's got the momentum down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Brad O'Brien drives past Caleb Curry to move into position number 4. Half a car between Rodriguez and Silby at the start-finish line. Silby has got the lead to the middle of turn number 1 and 2, but it is Aston Rodriguez who's got the momentum on the top side and says aim out of 3 and 4. Although Craig Silby had it at the start-finish line, so top in 1 and 2 looks a whole lot better than in 3 and 4. Here comes Rodriguez down to the inside. The door was shut by Silby. And Ashton Phipps is now going to make a challenge and a change for the number 1 position. White flag is out. 1 lap left to run. Rodriguez and Phipps go wheel to wheel into turn number 3 and 4. Phipps is on the bottom side. Rodriguez has got the one on the outside. I think Phipps has got it in the 69 machine. Ashton Phipps along with Aston Rodriguez, they go 1 and 2. It's a case of how close was it? It was 0.142 of a second. Ashton Phipps gets the job done over Brad O'Brien. Now, Aston Rodriguez had been given a penalty with the contact with Craig Silby, so O'Brien will go to the show. Curry, Silby, Campbell, your top 5. Wilson, Giltrap, McCutcheon, Moore, Partridge, not a pear tree, it's Rodriguez, Waddell and Donnelly to make up your 13 drivers in heat number 2. Heat number 3 will look like this, and 12 cars. It'll be Matthew Johnston and Shane Van Gisbergen in row number 1. Joel Berkeley, Nathan Kane in row number 2. Bradley Oldfield, Thomas Paul, row number 3. Noah Page and Devon Stove in row 4. Marcus Scott and Lachlan Symes in row 5. Brian McIntyre and Callum Pratt in row number 6. Don't worry, no hangovers here. I've definitely got to get that camera fixed up. We'll get that done. We'll play an ad after the final heat of the night. So again, bear with us, because I really don't feel like staring from space trying to look at the cars. So Johnston and Van Gisbergen, Berkeley and Kane, Oldfield and Paul. 8 laps is on the board. And I'll tell you what, Berkeley and Van Gisbergen, no strangers to one another when it comes to the National Midget Championship. Working down the back straightaway for the first time in heat race number 3. 3 wide, Berkeley on the inside, Van Gisbergen right through the slick, but it is going to be Matthew Johnston to lead lap number 1. Oldfield trying to come through up on the inside of Nathan Kane's we work as Thomas Paul now works on the inside of Oldfield, getting a little tight. Oldfield drifts up the racetrack. Oldfield in one of the Tinder cars along with Joel Berkeley. Berkeley on the outside looking in. It's Johnston and Van Gisbergen. Page in the 305. Trying to go 3 wide, will in fact go 3 wide, cuts it back down to the bottom side, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Page, well, I guess you turned to the wrong knowledge just then, as Van Gisbergen now looks to the inside. Out of turn 4, so he'll be going, I thought he might have gone top. He's going middle 1 and 2. And then he went the bottom 3 and 4 on the previous lap. Maybe tried something different then. Just trying to get a little closer to the back of the 48 machine of Matthew Johnston. Van Gisbergen trying to run the slider line. Can't quite clear Matthew Johnston. And again, one simple mistake. Berkeley's going to be there to capitalise. Slide job by Van Gisbergen. Johnston, well, he's gone to the supermarket. Got some French onion dippers. He turned it back underneath him. 2 to run. You've now got what is going to be a 3-car battle because you throw Berkeley into the picture. Slide job by Johnston on Van Gisbergen, and Van Gisbergen works it back. He'll take the lead into turn number 1 and 2 on the white flag lap. Here comes Berkeley on the inside. Berkeley trying to get 2 for the price of 1. Can he do it down into turn number 3? Berkeley runs the bottom. Van Gisbergen up top. Who's going to have it out of turn number 4? Oh, there's contact between Berkeley and Van Gisbergen. Very, very close. They made contact right at the start-finish line. Heat number 3, and it was a belter. Van Gisbergen, Johnston, Berkeley. What a showing in heat number 3. Official results to come through. Van Gisbergen gets it by 0.018 of a second over Joel Berkeley. Matthew Johnston, hell of a drive, only a tenth off the lead there in heat number 3. Comes home third. Oldfield, Stove, Kane, Page, Pratt, Paul, Scott, Symes and McIntyre. The 12 drivers for heat number 3. Heat number 4 will line up like this. Caden Barker and Hayden Guptill, the current NZ1 in row number 1. Kevin Richards and Blake Walsh in row number 2. Graham Smith and Murray Howe, row 3. Tom Storr and Stefan Adams in row 4. Kyron Tuamata and Doug Morris in row 5. Cale James and Brock Gilchrist in row number 6. So that is heat number 4. If only the cameraman could get a little bit closer, so I didn't have the binoculars out. So again, a big thank you to, of course, SimBlacks coming on board for the National Midget Championship. Of course, so it seems upholstery. I'm sure we'll have more sponsors throughout the course of the season. Lights are out, coming to the green. 8 laps on the board. Only car not to make the call for heat number 4 was Doug Morris. And after this, it's going to be straight into some consolation races in probably just over a little over an hour's time. We're going to be live for the season opener of the Worthy Australia Ultimate Dirt League Big Block Modified Series. Ready for a start. Guptill and Barker. It's Barker on the inside. Guptill, the New Zealand champion. Keep an eye on Walsh. Yeah, give it to, I think Barker may have had it at the start-finish line, but Guptill shows his intent on trying to run the top side, but turns it back through the middle. Left 4 wide for 4, 5 and 6. Excuse me, 1 car around and upside down. That's Graham Smith. Slider by Barker on Guptill. Guptill will shut the door into turn number 3, but Barker forces it open. Pack on the inside of the line. Give that one. Lap number 3 belongs to Hayden Guptill. Guptill around the outside. Well, he stayed foot to the floor and powered around the outside of Caden Barker. Walsh in the 97 machine was running the inside line into 3 and 4. He's railing it upstairs into 1 and 2. They're going to be careful between Guptill and Barker. Oh, slider line. That bottom side was taken away from Blake Walsh. Oh, look out. Some contact as we went into turn number 1 between Barker and Walsh. And give it to Walsh. He's got second at the line. Barker reclaims the second position after Blake Walsh got by him. We've got a lap and a half to go. Here at Cedar Lake Speedway, the SimBlacks National Midget Championship season opener. Look out, there was some contact. Who is going to get lucky out of this one? Brock Gilchrist, plus 10 positions at the moment from 12th up to position number 3, make it 4. We go into 3 and 4 for the final time. Hayden Guptill. He really made that one his own. Hayden Guptill wins. Campbell Richards home in second. Brock Gilchrist third. Plus 9 positions for Brock Gilchrist. Holy dooly. Oh boy, time to get ready for, I believe it's going to be the 5th and final heat race of the night as we have a look at heat number 4 results on screen. Guptill, Richards, your top 2. Gilchrist, Barker, Adams, your top 5. Then we go back to Howe, Walsh, James, Tuamata, Storr, Smith, and Morris. I don't think Morris didn't even complete a lap, didn't even get onto the starting grid as we get set for the 5th and final heat race of the night. Jordan Richards and Jordan McDonnell in row 1. Darcy Wilson and James McDonald in row 2. Hayden Warrington and Aaron Hatton in row 3. Nick Ryan and Hayden Vickers in row 4. Leo Heaton and Steve Duff in row 5. And Jackson Baggery along with Hunter Robb in row number 6. Johnson, you cut that out. I thought we were friends. So the 5th and final heat here in the SimBlacks National Midget Championship, brought to you by New Zealand Sim Racing. Love you too, Johnson. Ready for a start, 8 on the board. McDonnell and Richards. McDonnell on the outside in that number 34 machine. 3 wide as Darcy Wilson immediately look to the inside. In that United Sim Sports number 5, Richards throws a slider. McDonnell turns it back to the middle of the racetrack. Jordan McDonnell will lead lap number 1. Second is Jordan Richards, Darcy Wilson. Third, James McDonald, Aaron Hatton. Those drivers make up your top 5. They're hustling and bustling in the back of the bus. The back of the pack at the moment. McDonnell keeps the number 1 position, but not without a challenge from Jordan Richards. Oh, he parked it right on the nose of Jordan McDonnell and Aaron Hatton. Darcy Wilson and James McDonald come through up there on the inside. And the old Yahoo machine trying to put the Yahoo into a top 2 position and had it at the back straight away. Wilson turns it back underneath him as the battle is on for the final transfer position. Here comes Hayden Warrington now with a whole head of steam working the top side of the racetrack. Slider line from Darcy Wilson trying to cover the inside and both outside line, but I'll tell you what, Hayden Warrington, he might even just have enough. If he can get around Darcy Wilson quick enough, there is a very good chance that he will be headed to the A main via the heat race. Warrington still working the cushion through turn number 1 and 2. He's got a lap and a half to go. He goes inside on Darcy Wilson. They make contact. Wilson into the wall. He kept it going. Big wheels there, but the white flag is out. 1 lap left to run for Jordan Richards. We work down into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Heat race number 5 of the season opener of the SimBlacks New Zealand National Midget Championship. We are done. Oh boy, what a way to kick off the opening 5 heat races. Now we go to our E main, and this is going to be alphabet soup time. Richards, McDonald, Heaton, Ryan, Wilson, Robb, Hatton, Baggery, Duff. Warrington had been given a penalty, so he's going to finish in 10th position. Vickers and McDonnell home in position number 12. Let's take a look here at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. And we can get that up because now I've got what I needed to get up. And here we go. Your 15 cars getting ready to do battle in tonight's E-Main over 14 laps, where the top 6 will go through to the back of tonight's D main. That's going to be Brendan Partridge and Marcus Scott in row 1. Tom Storr, Hayden Warrington in row 2. Taylor Bryan and Aston Rodriguez in row 3. Lachlan Symes and Graham Smith in row 4. Hayden Vickers and Nathaniel Miller in row 5. Row 6 is Sam Waddell, alongside him Brian McIntyre. Jordan McDonnell in row 7, along with Kevin Hopkins and Max Donnelly in row number 8. I almost said row 15. It's position number 15. What a spud. So your B main. Oh, I should have. Do you reckon I can get it? Do you reckon I can get it done? We'll do it next. We'll do it next. I'll tell you what, we're going to fix the camera issue. I promise it'll be done after this one. It'll take about 8 seconds to fix. We go green in your E-main tonight. 6 cars continue their journey in the SimBlacks National Midget Championship season. Nope, but look out, there's some contact in the back of the bus. Brian McIntyre gets shuffled back in the 59, along with Nathaniel Miller, but it's going to be Tom Storr in the 1 and 2 on the inside. Is Marcus Scott. Keep an eye on Hayden Warrington in the number 70 machine. Aston Rodriguez trying to come through along with Graham Smith, Hayden Vickers, Sam Waddell, Max Donnelly. Those drivers all trying to work their way up into the top 6 positions. You got Marcus Scott on screen in the purple and white. Number 39, oh boy, big wheel stand. There was definitely contact. Jordan McDonnell back to position number 11. Aston Rodriguez, Hayden Warrington, 2 drivers that both had been given penalties in heat racing action, have now got a fair bit of racing to do if they want to make tonight's main event. And no doubt, with the level of competition here tonight, it is going to be tough for any one of these drivers to run the alphabet soup. 5 down and 9 to go in your E main. You'll have a D main, which will be up next, and that'll consist of 16 laps, 18 laps for your C, and a 20 lap B main. So there's still a fair bit of racing to come on this racetrack. Rodriguez by Partridge into turns 3, and the slider comes out from Rodriguez. Partridge turns it back underneath him. So Brendan Partridge sticks to the bottom into turn number 1 and 2. Rodriguez still works up on the top side of the racetrack. He's got to run just like what he did in his heat race earlier on this evening. Here comes Marcus Scott in the purple and white, number 39 machine. Hayden Warrington in 5th, and Graham Smith just behind them in 6th. So your top 6 cars are broken away from Hayden Vickers, who sits in 7th. So right now, we're going 3 wide, and the double slide jump by Warrington. Oh boy, Partridge still some contact with Marcus Scott. And although he does not lose out on too many positions, he's still inside of a transfer position. Rodriguez trying to close in on your race leader. It's down to 4/10 of a second. So meanwhile, as the cars are just somewhat spread themselves out thin here in tonight's E-main, the laps are winding down with 3 to run for your race leader, Tom Storr. Here comes Rodriguez down to the inside into turn number 3 and 4. Big slider there by Brendan Partridge on Graham Smith. That was for positions 4 and 5. He's going to throw it again. Look to your right of your screen. Meanwhile, we try and stay focused on the potential battle happening up for the race lead. Look out. Oh boy, Partridge and Smith nearly come together again. The white flag is out. 1 to go for Tom Storr. Can he hold on for an E-main victory? Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time for some of these drivers. For 6 of them, they continue on. And Aston Rodriguez, I think, pipped Tom Storr at the line. I think Aston Rodriguez got that one. There was nothing in it between them. If I could find where my mouse is, it would be good. Right, very quickly, your E-main results. 6 cars going through. It's going to be Aston Rodriguez, Tom Storr, Hayden Warrington, Brendan Partridge, Graham Smith, and Mark Scott. Your 6 drivers for Jordan McDonnell, Sam Waddell, Hayden Vickers, Max Donnelly, Brian McIntyre, Lachlan Sims, Nathan Miller, Taylor Bryant, and Kevin Hopkins. For 7th on back, it is time to go home. Let's have a look and see if we can do this shred. Let's take a look at our Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. Okay. That might be a little better. That might be a little better. Let's have a look. Here we go. Your D main cars on track. Ayrton Smith and Matt McCutcheon in row 1. Callum Pratt, Cale James in row 2. Jackson Bagri and Braden Morosky in row 3. Angus Moore and Thomas Paul in row 4. Not trying to rhyme there, folks. It just happened to be that way. Kyron Tamata and Steve Duff in row 5. Dylan Cook and Aston Rodriguez in row number 6. Row 7 is going to be Tom Storr, Hayden Warrington. Row 8, Brendan Partridge and Graham Smith and Marcus Scott to round out the field. Okay, it looks a little better on the front straight away. Yes, I can somewhat see the cars a little bit better now. Ah, well, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. I gotta figure out why this other thing's happening. I'm really not happy with it. Right, here we go. 16 laps on the board. Top 6 to go through. One more D-Main. One more consolation race. And, well, another 11 cars to be sent packing after this one. We're green flag racing. Ayrton Smith got a good jump on the field. Jackson Bagri worked up on the inside of Mini-Mac. I'm not even going to call him Mini-Mac. I'm going to call him Big Mac now. Matt McCutcheon. Surely he's got to be like 15 now, right? McCutcheon to the outside. Oh, bring him with his looks on what to be his teammate. He is Callum Pratt in that team Billabong. So, number of drivers. Oh, I look over and we got Aston Rodriguez upside down, and yeah, there we go, yellow. Well, that's actually good because that actually gets me caught up on things, because if we go back and look at this, this might be where it happened. We take a look at our NLRA instant replay. I feel like it was further up ahead. Ah, there we go. Hayden Warrington involved in that one. And so were a number of other drivers. Okay. Okie dokie. So your D main getting set to resume here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Ayrton Smith, your race leader from Matt McCutcheon. Dylan Cook runs in third. Marcus Scott now up 13 positions from dead last, from 17th to a top 4. And Marcus Scott at the moment looks like he might be the only driver, if he can finish the top 6 for the drivers that come from the D main, that will have a chance to run the entire alphabet soup. McCutcheon tries to run down Smith. We watch Scott on screen. He's got Duff and Storr. Storr started 13th, so Storr come from the E main also. Oh no, Scott, what have you done? And here comes Hayden Warrington now. Warrington up to position number 6. The old Partridge and a Pantry along with Steve Duff, both drivers back in the pits. Rodriguez a lap down. Not sure what he was trying to do there, but I'm sure he's not happy with someone. And continue on in your D main. 6 to go. Smith leads from McCutcheon. Cook in third. Fourth, there's Tom Storr. Cale James there on screen. Oh no! You had one job, and unfortunately you're outside of the top 6 now. And that time the concrete wall does not move, and Thomas Paul now moves up into the 6th and final transfer position. Meanwhile, Ayrton Smith in the 64. He is just running away with this one. McCutcheon here in the 32. Sitting back there in second. Knows that he doesn't have to do anything silly. He's got himself a potential C main position in what will start probably position number 13. The winner will start 12th in the C main. Rodriguez about to get put a lap down here by Ayrton Smith in the 64. Hello Mike, hello Anthony. Smith now turns it back down to the bottom side. Ashton Rodriguez night is done in your D main. Smith continuing to lead the way since he's done so since the drop of the green flag. And out of turn 4, your D main is going to be complete. Ayrton Smith, your unofficial winner from Matt McCutcheon, Dylan Cook, Tom Storr, Hayden Warrington and Thomas Paul will be your 6 unofficial drivers, and we shall make that official right now. And there it is, Smith, McCutcheon, Cook, Storr, Warrington and Paul for 7th on back. Well, it's time to say good night, and we should see those guys next week for week number 2. As we go forward and look at your C main starting grid, Stefan Adams and Darcy Wilson in row 1, Terence Dorrell and Cooper Wilson in row 2, Nathan Kane and Murray Howell in row 3, row 4, Hunter Robb and Ricky Brett, row 5, Marco Giltrap and Noah Page, row 6, Blake Walsh and Aaron Hatton, row 7 going to be Ayrton Smith and Matt McCutcheon, Dylan Cook and Tom Storr in row 8. In row 9, Hayden Warrington and Thomas Paul. So 18 cars will start tonight's C main. Actually, just quickly, I'm going to try another one. Okay, there we go. Let's try that one, shall we? I don't know how it's going to go, but hopefully we've got a start finish line camera. We do, and we've got our spotter one. Start a Spotify. You see main. 6 cars to go to the back of tonight's B main. And the big one comes up after the B main. I don't know if we're going to have, let me check if we're going to have, or what the format is for tonight. We're going to have a dash, which is going to be 6 laps, and that's going to be run in your warm-up session. Green flag is out in tonight's C main, so the second last consolation race of the night. And what is a total of 4 races, including this one left, but still a lot of laps left. Look out. One of the Billabong cars had some problems. 18 laps is your journey. Dorrell, Adams, Wilson on the outside in the black and orange number 5. Stefan Adams in that SimBlacks New Zealand number 54 machine goes through the speed, the middle of the racetrack. Marco Giltrap, Nathan Kane, Blake Walsh. Here comes Walsh. Top 6 is the magic number once again in your C main. And at the moment, Blake Walsh thinking about trying to make it 3 wide. Have a look at Hayden Warrington. He's run the E, he's run the D, he's currently running the C. And a big chance at making it into tonight's B. Ayrton Smith now. Smith slides up and gets 2 for the price of 1. Smith and Warrington for the final transfer position. 1 car upside down. Marco Giltrap, that is. Slided by Warrington. Here comes Smith back to the inside, just in front of them. Stefan Adams. And Adams now, he has got 2 very hungry Aminals right now trying to chase down the 51. Warrington moves up inside the top 5. You got to think with the amount of cars he's passed, he's looking the goods. And the amount of track time he's had, being able to adjust that setup as the night goes on. He's a very big chance at making a top 5 in tonight's main event, providing things go his way. 3 wide for the final transfer position. Kane, Smith, Adams, they go 3 deep. They're not selling it cheap right now. The 51 of Adams gets tight. Here comes Dylan Cook now around the outside. Cook on the outside looking in. Short slider by Nathan Kane there on Ayrton Smith. And now here comes Dylan Cook. Kane with another slide jump on Smith. Smith turns it back underneath him. Walsh and Dole, they fight it out wheel to wheel for second and third position. But we'll keep our eyes focused on this transfer position. 6 drivers going to be happy after this C main. The other 12, they're going to be bitterly disappointed and maybe even a little upset. Dylan Cook has now made his way to position number 6. Here comes Hatton and Kane. Hatton on the inside in the 211. Gets a little shot in the shorts from behind. Here comes Matt McCutcheon now. Slide job there on Nathan Kane, but Kane works it back on the inside. 7 laps remaining in your C main. Back towards second and make that third and fourth. Hayden Warrington on the inside. So Warrington has gone from the top. He's now down on the bottom. So he's really starting to figure the track out. And if I'm drivers in the dash or the B main, I'm watching the number 70 car carve his way through the field. Your leader is Blake Walsh. Yeah, that one came out of nowhere. Blake Walsh, your race leader. Darcy Wilson in second. Hayden Warrington third. Terence Dole fourth. Dylan Cook 5th, and Matt McCutcheon in 6th. So McCutcheon started 14th plus 8. He come from the D main along with Dylan Cook. Blake Walsh started 11th, and he's up to the race lead. Hayden Warrington. Now he's back upstairs. 3 to go. It's hard to take your eyes off the 70 machine. He's just making it work wherever he goes. So there's the lap car of Cooper Wilson. There's Darcy Wilson in that number 5 machine. 2 laps remaining here at Cedar Lake, the SimBlacks National Midget Championship. Blake Walsh is just a lap away from taking victory in your C main for the season opener here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Into 3 and 4. Checkers are out for Blake Walsh. He's going to get the job done. He'll go to the back of the B. And in the B main, we're going to take a few more cars than what we take out of the E, D, and C mains. So we're going to confirm your top 6. So your top 6 drivers will officially be Blake Walsh getting the win. Second, I'll go to Darcy Wilson, Hayden Warrington. Third, Terence Dole. In fourth, Matt McCutcheon. Fifth, and Dylan Cook in 6th. For the Mike's 7th thumb back, well, unfortunately, we say goodbye to them. Your B main cars on the racetrack. Let's take a look at how they line up with your starting grid. I don't have a... Okay, cool. No worries. I don't have a blimp view. And it's going to be Regan Edwards and Caleb Curry in row 1. Row 2, Matthew Johnston and Brock Gilchrist. Leo Heaton and Luke Wilson in row 3. Row 4, Craig Silby, Bradley Oldfield. Row 5, Caden Barker and Nick Ryan. Row 6, Mitch Fabish and Noah Campbell. Row 7, going to be Devon Stove and Blake Walsh. Row 8, Darcy Wilson, Hayden Warrington. Row 9, Terence Doyle and Matt McCutcheon. And row 10 by himself is Dylan Cook. So 19 cars on the racetrack. I can confirm it is a 20-lap distance and we take the top 14. So just 5 out of this B main will be sent packing. And then we go into our dash. Once we have the dash done, they'll have a couple of minutes warm up. And then we'll get ready for our 35-lap main event. So the drivers in the dash will be up after this B main as we get set. We are racing here at Cedar Lake, your final consolation race of the evening. Matthew Johnston immediately takes over the race leads. We work down into turn number 3. Everybody trying to find themselves into a rhythm. You got to find your move, find your groove, and make your move. Selby in the 7. He was one to watch in his heat race. He was making the bottom work. Through 3 and 4 we run. Johnston leads from Leo Heaton. Edwards, Curry, Selby, that's your top 5. Heaton, he got by Johnston down the back straightaway. Johnston works the outside of the racetrack. They all fight for the top 14 positions at the moment. Hayden Warrington is done. He's back in the pits. Noah Campbell's out of the event. 17 cars left on the racetrack. And it's 14 of them going through. 3 drivers, Darcy Wilson, Terrence Doyle, and Blake Walsh at the moment. Those are the unlucky drivers, but still plenty of laps for some lady luck to go their way. Leo Heaton, meanwhile, has worked his way in a challenge and a position for a challenge for the race lead on the bottom side out of turn number 4. He's got it at the line, probably by 3/4 of a car length. Johnston, maybe the top side just starting to fade away a little bit. Boy, he was very close to the right rear and the tail tank of the number 26 machine. Now Johnston going to bite the bullet and go down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Regan Edwards stuck up on the top side, doesn't want to give it up just yet. He's trying to make it work, maybe trying to get that setup dialed in for later on. We go back and have a look at the 32 of Matt McCutcheon. And McCutcheon from the D to the B and most likely going to the A, providing no major mishaps. They're 3 wide behind him. Blake Walsh in the 97. He's got Devon Stove, Dylan Cook in and around him. Here comes McCutcheon again. After Bradley Oldfield, 3 wide. Look at the 95 entry of Mitch Fabish. And Fabish just rolling the bottom side here at Cedar Lake. Walsh, 3 deep and selling cheap again. Oh, Fabish caught the inside tyres. And that's going to undo all that hard work. But, well, now he falls outside of the transfer position. Craig Selby, Luke Wilson. Selby on the top side. He's got McCutcheon behind him. Walsh on his inside again. Rows of 2. McCutcheon tried to make a 3 wide out of turn 2. He's not afraid to leave it all up on the line. Leave it all on the racetrack. Yeah, I tell you what, every one of these drivers so far are doing a phenomenal job in your B main. Oh, the wall tap there by Craig Selby in the number 7 machine. Nearly ran out of real estate with Blake Walsh moving up the racetrack. What has McCutcheon got left in this one with 6.5 remaining? Your SimBlacks National Midget Championship brought to you by New Zealand Sim Racing. Along with, so it seems, Customer Poultry. And the Kiwis, I dare say they're going to average anywhere between, I reckon, close to 50 a night throughout the course of the next 18 weeks. Oh, what's going on with Blake Walsh? There's some dramas with the 97. He is done for. And the 67 of Caleb Curry. He was working on the inside of Caden Barker. Edwards now around the outside of Matthew Johnson. Johnston, he was working back on the inside. Johnston, he's still having a dig down on the bottom side. They'll come to the start-finish line. There'll be 2 laps left remaining for your race leader of Leo Heaton in car number 26. The Parts Authority 48 of Matthew Johnston started 3rd. He's still going forward in this one. McCutcheon and Cook, both drivers advancing 9 positions after starting 18th and 19th. But it won't matter all that much on how many positions you're going, because it's a matter if you can finish inside the top 14. Into 3 and out of turn number 4. Leo Heaton will be victorious in your B main. He will book his ticket to the main event, along with Matthew Johnston, Regan Edwards, Bradley Oldfield and Caden Barker. Going to unofficially make up your top 5 And let's make it official while the drivers in the warm-up session get called out or in the dash. As let's take a look at those 14 drivers that will go through in your SimBlacks National Midget Championship A main. The drivers that transferred from the B, these are the drivers on screen. Leo Heaton, Matthew Johnson, and Regan Edwards. Your top 3, Bradley Oldfield, Caden Parker. Your top 5, Luke Wilson, Caleb Curry, Craig Silby, Matt McCutcheon, Devon Stove. Your top 10, Nick Ryan, 11th, 12th is Dylan Cook, Terrence Dorrell. Mitch Fabish will be the 14th and final car to go through for Darcy Wilson, Brock Gilchrist, Blake Walsh, Noah Campbell, and Hayden Warrington. Unfortunately, you've had a good night, but not good enough for your drivers to transfer to the back of the main event. As we now have our dash cars getting set to make their way onto the racing surface. Let me just figure out if I can have a look at the format. So the format is going to be 6 laps. Yeah, it's going to be running the warm-up 24 car feature. Of course, the laps will obviously vary each racetrack we go to. So the bigger racetracks will have obviously 25 or 30 laps, and we'll see the shorter racetracks 35, 40 against next week. I'll tell you where we are. I think we're at Lanier, aren't we? Let me have a look. I know I've got it somewhere. I've got it saved in the old dog and bone somewhere. I do. We're at Lanier National Speedway, Linnet Racetrack, Linnet Raceway, for the World Midget 50 Lapper next week, followed by USA International Speedway, the Lakeland Cup. So that's what you've got to look forward to over the next coming weeks, and followed up by Kokomo, I-55, Williams Grove, Bristol, Limaland, Knoxville, the Chili Bowl, the Tulsa Expo Centre, Port Royal, Volusia, the Dirt Track in Charlotte, Eldora, and your final 4 weeks, Fairbury, Lernerville, Weed Sport, and Lucas Oil. Hello, Harrison. Here we go. 6 laps is the distance. And we are racing in tonight's dash. And Paul, well, I don't know who that was there, but they just got fed a big old Shane Van Gisbergen right rear. Stewart on the outside. Berkeley, there is Brad O'Brien getting tagged from behind. That's lap number 1 is in the books. And oh boy, times are tough right now. Times are not tough for Alec Inslee now. There's no point in bringing up the standings on the left-hand side of your screen, because it's not going to matter, because in the warm-up session, it goes off the fastest lap time. Alec Inslee is your race leader. We're going to be 3 down, 3 to go at the start-finish line. And the number 2 machine of Alec Inslee. For Fastlane Esports in the Heater Designs and Studio, Go Slideways TV, 17RC, Sidebite Media. He's just got 2 laps left to hang on to a win in tonight's dash. But I tell you what, here comes Harry Stewart and Joel Berkeley. They are ripping the lip. Brad O'Brien just in front of them. O'Brien pulls infield. White flag should be out this time. Inslee, Stewart, Berkeley, 1, 2, and 3. Here comes Berkeley. Inslee slides up in front of Stewart. Stewart goes back through the middle of the racetrack, does he? No, not quite. Inslee going to protect the line down into turn number 3. He got tight out of turn number 4. Inslee and Stewart. Stewart wins, I think. I think Harry Stewart has pipped him at the line. Oh, we're going to let race control deal with that one. Alec Inslee, Harry Stewart, and Joel Berkeley, those final few laps of that dash. That was phenomenal. Oh my. Catch your breath. What is coming up next is the main event, 35 laps. There is still the 6 minutes, or just under 6 minutes left of the warm-up session. I don't think, again, I could be wrong, we have to wait for race control to determine if they are going to advance it right away, or they'll give the drivers 30, 60 seconds of warm-up. It's up to race control on what they want to do with that one. With that being said, and what we've got in mind, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We are going to... Have I got ads? Pretty sure I've got ads. I've got ads here somewhere. Hang on. And that's a minute 38. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. If we come back and we cut the ad short, that just means we're getting ready to go back A-Main Racing here at Cedar Lake Speedway. You're watching the SimBlacks National Midget Championship Season Opener, brought to you by New Zealand Sim Racing and So It Seems Customer Poultry. We'll be right back here on Ultimate Dirt TV. And we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV coverage of the SimBlacks New Zealand Sim Racing National Midget Championship here on Ultimate Dirt TV. It is time to go A-Main Racing. And let's go from back to front. We're going to look at 24th through to position number 11. And then positions 10 on forward will obviously be mixed up just due to the fact that the drivers that we ran in the dash in the warm-up session. So from 10th on through to pole position, they will not be correct. So we're going to quickly go through from the back to the front. Mitch Fabish and Terence Dole in row number 12. Dylan Cook and Nick Ryan in row 11. Row 10 going to be Devon Stove and Matt McCutcheon. Row 9, Craig Silby, Caleb Curry. Row 8, Luke Wilson and Caden Barker. Row 7, Bradley Oldfield, Regan Edwards. Row 6, Matthew Johnston and Leo Heaton. And your 10 drivers in tonight's dash that will start in no particular order. James McDonald, Campbell Richard, Joel Berkeley, Brad O'Brien, Harry Stewart, Jordan Richards, Hayden Guptill, Shane Van Gisbergen, Ashton Phipps and Alec Inslee. "35 laps on the board. Your A-Main event about to start here at the Cedar Lake Speedway. That's a whole lot closer. Now we can see Alec Inslee, Harry Stewart. We're about to go live for 35 here at Cedar Lake Speedway. We are racing here in your main event in your season opener. Quickly, immediately up on the inside. Here comes Stewart back to the outside as he'll slide it up to the cushion into turn number 3 and 4. But it's going to be Alec Inslee who will lead lap number 1. Berkeley looks for the move there on Stewart. Stewart goes back underneath him. We go yellow. Very quickly, very quickly. No, we don't have it. We don't have it. I was going to... just make one quick adjustment to this one, so bear with me for a minute. I'm just going to go back to the bear back screen quickly.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all.
And we're back. There we go. Just one quick adjustment to the camera. Yeah, this is a camera pack that I don't really have for this racetrack. But anyhow, we're going back to green. Pace truck will go very fast down the front straight away. Alec Inslee, Joel Berkeley, Harry Stewart, 1, 2, and 3. As we continued our journey in crowning the 2022 SimBlacks National Midget Champion, 3 wide. Berkeley, Guptill, they're no strangers to running on the sim together, and a couple of handy races. Guptill throws them in 3 wide. Guptill and Berkeley, the current New Zealand champion of Hayden Guptill, trying to win his 3rd National Midget Championship. As Harry Stewart, speaking of thirds, he's trying to go for the 3-peat. He's won 2021 and 2020. Can he go 2022? Or will somebody else take the spoils? Berkeley has 2nd at the start-finish line. Meanwhile, Guptill and Stewart nearly coming together towards the exit of turn number 2. Campbell Richards along with Jordan Richards. They fight it out for 5th and 6th along with Brad O'Brien, Bradley Oldfield, James McDonald and Regan Edwards, all advancing forward in this one. That's your top 10. Alec Inslee so far has got a stranglehold on this field by 0.6 of a second. Oh no, there goes your defending. Well, there goes your current NZ champ. Now, unfortunately, because there ain't been cautions, it's got to be 2 cars or more involved, meaning, unfortunately, for Hayden Guptill, he's got his work cut out for him should he get back on the racetrack, come back out, whether he's going to be a lap down or not. Jordan Richards along with Regan Edwards. Then you got the 44 of Caden Barker, going to make it 3 wide into turn number 1 and 2. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Tell you what, for such a tight little racetrack and for how slick it is, it's really off to a good start right now. Slider, oh boy. We continue to stay green. Any action up front? No, it's Alec Inslee leading from Berkeley and Stewart, Oldfield, O'Brien. That's your top 5. Then you got Richards, Barker, Edwards, Luke Wilson up inside the top 10 along with James McDonald. McDonald in that Yahoo number 44 machine. Mitch Fabish started 24th. He's up plus 10, make it plus 11 as he sits in the 13th position. Oh, look out, 1 car upside down. And, oh, we're going to stay green. No, we might be going yellow now. There's 2 cars in the back straightaway. Matthew Johnston. And there was someone else there. Is that car Hayden? It's not Hayden Guptill. That's Terrence Dorrell or Durrell. You just seen Shane Van Gisbergen there towards the back of this one. Rodney James, I think that could be a spectacular comment. That's the comment of the night. The 666 machine should make a return to sim racing. So lights are still flashing. Are they? Yes, they are. My eyes are quite deceiving. So we'll quickly once we finish this one, we'll chat to our top 3 fairly quickly. Then we're going to head over towards the Eldora Speedway for the Worth Australia Big Block Modified Ultimate Dirt League season opener at Eldora. We've still got 17 to go here, so half race distance. Can Inslee hold on to the number 1 position? He gets the moisture out of turn number 4, and we're back underway in Uray Main in the SimBlacks National Midget Championship season opener. And that gives an opportunity for the Michael Bradley Oldfield now to make a challenge on his teammate, Harry Stewart. He works the bottom side, gets by Berkeley, but Berkeley fights back on the outside. Berkeley and Stewart, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Brad O'Brien as well, hell of a run by the number 77 machine. He's up to position 5, could be challenging for 4th here in a minute, depending on how much of a run. Look out! Oh no, Brad O'Brien, you had 1 job, and that was to not screw up. You had a hell of a run. Unfortunately, it comes to a premature end. Oldfield now on Stewart. Stewart backs out of it. Stewart turns it back underneath him now. 1 car slowing. It's Campbell Richards in the 47. Stewart with the return serve on Oldfield. Stewart going to protect that line down into turn number 3. Meanwhile, Berkeley coming after your race lead of Alec Inslee. There's not much separating first and second right now. It's a 10th and a half. Slider line for Inslee. Berkeley runs the bottom, trying to find some moisture on the exit of turn number 4. He's got the moisture. Look at him. He's not even halfway down the. He's not even halfway up the racetrack on the front straightaway. He'll slide into the cushion into turn number 1 and 2. That opens up that door for the 11 machine of Harry Stewart. Boy, oh boy, these boys are really having a phenomenal race here. Inslee, he's 10.5 away from opening up season 2022 with a win here at Cedar Lake Speedway. 1, 2, and 3 all around the slider line. Here comes Berkeley trying to make the move for the race lead. Inslee turns it already, turning down the racetrack. By the time Berkeley was midway through turn number 1 and 2. This could be a race for the ages if it's anything like what we've seen in the dash. I dare say we are set for an absolute belter of a finish. Berkeley with a move there on Inslee once again. Inslee, he sees it coming. Inslee has got this thing figured out right now, and he is making it work. But here comes Berkeley again, trying to shorten up the slider. But Inslee sees it coming again. Here comes Stewart now. You can't take your eyes off the top 3 at the moment with 7 laps to go. We are less than a heat race distance away. Here comes Stewart now. Stewart trying to throw the move on Berkeley. Berkeley around the outside. Berkeley rolled the caution, and a very, very sketchy move. But it paid dividends for Joel Berkeley in the end. Stewart lost his momentum there, and now he's got Oldfield closing into the back of the 11 machine. Berkeley hits the concrete wall, gives a bit of breathing room to Alec Inslee in the number 2 machine. 5 to go, so a palm out from Ryan of the O-Racing flag when 5 laps left to run. In your SimBlacks National Midget Championship season opener here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Yeah, you'll hear me harp on about SimBlacks all season long for all 18 races. 4 laps to go. Here comes Stewart trying something different. He tried the bottom side out of turn number 4. Berkeley, he's closing in on Inslee once again, a 10th and a half here. Berkeley's got something for Inslee. He's caught him. Now he's got to do the hard task in trying to pass the number 2 machine with 3 laps left to run. The short slider comes in. Inslee taps the brakes, turns it back down the racetrack, down the back straightaway. Finds the grip on the bottom side, slides it up to the cushion. 2 laps left to run. Inslee, Berkeley, Stewart, 1, 2, and 3, nose to tail. Here comes Berkeley once again with another move into turn number 1 and 2. Stewart right there with him also. They'll greet the white flag this time out of turn number 4. 1 lap remaining. Berkeley looks to the inside. Will he go bottom? Yes, he does. Inslee protects the line into turn number 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Harry Stewart with a run down into turn number 3. Who's going to get it at the line? Inslee, Stewart, Berkeley out of turn number 4. Berkeley runs the bottom. Inslee's going to hang on. Stewart home in second. Berkeley will grab third. Oldfield fourth, and Luke Wilson rounds out your top 5. Oh my! Alec Inslee, Harry Stewart, and Joel Berkeley take a bow. That was phenomenal. And Alec Inslee in the Fast Lane Esports Heater Designs and Studio Go Slideways TV 17RC side by media number 2 will visit Victory Lane here at Cedar Lake Speedway. And rightfully so, the number 2 gets to park it up in Victory Lane. The 11 of Stewart will follow him, along with the 9 of Berkeley will park on the front straightaway. Oh my, what a race, what a finish. Harry, I'm going to guess because he's wearing, or he's got the yellow, black, and white colours. That's why I'm going to say Harrison. Whew! What a way to kick off your season opener here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Let's take a look at your official results as they pop up on your screen. Inslee gets the win from Stewart, Berkeley, Oldfield, and Wilson. Your top 5. Barker, Curry, Fabish, Stove, Cook, your top 10. Van Gisbergen, Dorrell, Edwards, Silby, Richard, your top 15. We go down the page to O'Brien, McDonald, Phipps, Guptill, Heaton 20th, McCutcheon, Johnston, Richards, and Ryan. Oh, well, there you go. See, Harry? There you go. That is your top 20. What a way to finish off a season opener. Boy, that was something to watch and something that should be highlighted for quite some time as we get ready to chat to your podium. We'll quickly get a word with your race winner here tonight, driving the number 2 machine of Alec Inslee. Alec, congratulations on the victory. And boy, that was, we go back to the finish of that dash, to the last 10, 15 laps of that feature event with Berkeley and Stewart. Man, you guys really put on one hell of a show.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty enjoyable track in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't enjoy tracks that are right on the fence, and but personally, I love banging the boards down and having the pressure of not hitting the wall. But Berkeley and Stewart were both real quick, and yeah, hats off to those guys for having such a good race.
How were the nerves in the last sort of 5 to 10 laps? More so, how were the nerves on that final lap for you?
Oh, the nerves were high the whole time. You know, seeing those guys chasing me down in the mirror really had my nerves going. But I tried to stay calm so I could, keep doing what I was doing, and I think that paid off.
At Berkeley, a number of times inside the last 10 laps through the slider in 1 and 2, you're able to sort of see it mid 1 and 2, and you're able to turn back down to the bottom of the racetrack. We know a lot of people block sliders in 3 and 4 on the final lap. You decided to block the slider in both 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on that final lap. What was the thought process behind that?
Well, I knew I was gonna run the slider line there in 3 and 4 anyway, like I had been all race. So I knew that if I could have my nose ahead of them going into 3 and 4, that would be good. So I blocked it in 1 and 2 and tried to get the run off the top on exit, and it paid off.
Well, it's an 18-week season. You've kicked off week number 1 with a win here at Cedar Lake, thanks to, of course, SimBlacks and the National Midget Championship brought to you by New Zealand Sim Racing. Alec, congratulations on the win. Before we let you go, of course, a lot of good sponsors on this race car, a lot of great people behind the scenes that make this possible for you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Fastlane Esports for bringing me on board just recently. Their cars all look real cool, and it's a real pleasure to race for their team. So Cedar Studios and Go Sideways are 2 of their main sponsors. I think there's a couple others on the car, but I kind of forgot them at the moment. Sorry. But yeah, big thanks to those guys. Yeah, they're real helpful and real nice team.
No, buddy, well done on the win, and we'll see you back next week at Lanier for the World
Sweet.
Midget 50 Lapper.
Thank you.
There we go. Alec Inslee, your winner here tonight. We'll chat to the driver that comes home second place tonight. He is looking for a 3-peat championship, but falls 1 spot shy in tonight's main event. Harry Stewart, congratulations on second place. And well, it started from the dash, and it pretty much finished the same way in that main event. But man, yourself, Berkeley, Alec Inslee, you guys really put on a show those last 15 laps. You not got... What did I do there? I think I invited you to something. Hang on 1 sec. Okay. Let me drag you to a different room. Righto, you got a copy there?
Yeah.
Mate, yourself, Berkeley, Alec Inslee really put on a show those last 15 laps. Pretty much how it finished in that dash. That must have been fun to be a part of.
Yeah, I guess it was pretty cool, the whole feature, just watching Joel try and reel in Alec, and when he did the sliders and watching what Alec would do to see how like the cut down was in 1 and 2. I sort of realised when he did that first cut down, it was pretty decent, or it was decent enough to be able to use if they got battling or someone was sliding me. And it's a bit disappointing. The whole sort of night was just a little bit off. Like the qualifying was good. I wasn't expecting to go quick time. Not extremely good in the tacky with these. I just called it a new build, but it's been out for like 2 years now. Still kind of suck, but and then the heat race, I knew the bottom wasn't going to be good, and I stayed down there, and Alec ripped around me, and so just lost that. And then the dash, I just lost that as well, which would have been good to start on the pole and sort of take control of it. And I got a pretty trash start as well in the feature, so and then just could never really get going. I was always just sort of running my own race and just hoping they'd get battling a lot, and my pace would just be enough to get me to them, where if they made a mistake I'd pass them. But the last few laps I sort of realised I had to sort of get up on the wheel and just try not to hit the fence or wreck myself or wreck Joel or Alec, and sort of got lucky there with Alec blocking Joel, and I knew obviously that cut down was good, so I ran that, and it just wasn't good enough to get Alec down the straight, and yeah, lucky to get second, I guess, with Joel. I thought that bottom of 3 and 4 was a lot better than it was, so yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
You said you're a little bit off. Where could you have been better? Because I mean, to me, from where we were watching, obviously I'm not in the race car. You've got a lot more experience than what I do in these types of cars. But where could you have been better to maybe be that one spot higher up on this podium?
Just honestly, just running the car harder through 1 and 2. I was pretty decent, I felt, in 3 and 4 with managing and not going into the fence every lap. And just 1 and 2, I'd left like maybe half a right rear width against the fence most of the race off at 2, which is where most of the grip was to launch you down the straightaway, and just never really nailed that the whole race. And I think if I did, I would have been right there behind Joel, and maybe we could have organised a bit of a takedown on Alec to pass him, but yeah, I just wasn't good enough.
Well, congratulations on second place. It's not a bad way to start off an 18-week season to defend your dual and back-to-back National Midget Championship tours. Three-peat would certainly be your top of the name when it comes to most championships won here with the New Zealand Sim Racing. But Harry, congratulations on second. Before we let you go, of course, a lot of good sponsors on this race car, a lot of great people behind the scenes that get this done for you.
Yeah, just can't thank the guys at United Sim Sports enough and Slick Sim Sports for getting the setup dialed in every week. Titan Garages and Carports, 87 Creative, Frags Tyres, Nat Red Radio and Auto, yourself for broadcasting every week, which is good, and Brayton for putting the league on again, and SimBlacks for coming on board and putting up some nice prize money for everyone to show up and hopefully race respectful in the heats and everything so we can put a show like we did just then for the features.
Well, if that was anything to go by, mate, no doubt I'm looking forward to the next 17 weeks. Harry, congratulations on second.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Harry Stewart home in second place. Home in third place tonight is Joel Burke. And Joel, well, I thought you were going to come home 1 spot shy, but now you make it 2 spots shy. But boy, that was an interesting race. That was a fun race to call, I got to say.
Yeah, it was a cool as race to battle with, and it just a couple of things didn't go our way there, and just end up 2 spots shy instead of 1. I thought I had a shot at the win there a few times, and it's just so hard to make a pass here, I guess. I thought coming to the wide, I was like, well, what else can I do apart from throw a slider into 1, and then Alec blocked and it sort of like threw everything out the window, and I was like, I might be able to roll the bottom here and just, I don't know, pull out a miracle, and that didn't work when you're going nowhere in the slick. But happy with the third. Considering I haven't really done too many midget laps, and just happy with it. But a little bit disappointed throwing away second there at the end. But what do you do? It is what it is.
A lot of the times, probably for the last 10 laps, I want to say 6, 7, maybe 8 of those laps, you threw a slider into 1 and 2. I noticed you didn't do it in 3 and 4. Was there a reasoning behind that one?
If I could have got to him in 3 and 4, I would have. But obviously, with Alec on the slider line like he was, I really couldn't throw it up the inside into 3 because he was already on the tyres. And if you see me there, he probably would have done what anyone else would have done and squeezed out a little bit further and put me in the tyres. But there was one time there before that last yellow, I rolled the tyres in 3 and 4 and we pulled even. But then the yellow comes straight away and it sort of, couldn't really try that again. But it was, I don't know what else I could have done different there. Probably, I really don't know. Apart from running the top and 1 and 2, coming to the wide instead of running a slider, but that's probably about it.
You're obviously a busy man with down under graphics and whatnot. How many rounds do you expect, or how many rounds do you intend to make in this 18-week championship?
Look, I would like to make every round if possible. Obviously, work commitments and being Australian for us, for me it starts at 5 o'clock. So I got to try and make sure the day is done for me by 4:30, which is okay when I'm the boss, but sometimes things just don't work out, and jobs get booked in and that sort of stuff. So if there's no jobs booked in, and look, hopefully can do the minimum rounds. I don't know how many drop rounds there is, so hopefully do the minimum rounds and see if we can contest for the championship. But if we can't, we'll just rock up every week where we can and just try and finish up front and do what we can and go for race wins, which we're trying to do there tonight. There was a few times we almost threw it away, but we'll keep on pulling away.
Well, Joel, congratulations on a third place finish here tonight at Cedar Lake. Before we let you go, of course, sponsor on this race car, people behind the scenes, who makes this possible for you on the 9 machine to get around.
Yeah, look, massive thanks to Braden and his team for running the league, yourself for broadcasting, everyone that makes the deal possible, Slick Sim Sports, Brad, Darcy, Harry, and yeah, everyone else that helps out where they can. And I know we'll try and keep this Tinder machine up front every week, but who knows? See what happens.
Do you swipe left or swipe right?
Depends on what it is.
Okay, Joel, congratulations on third, mate.
Cheers, mate.
All right, there we go. Joel Berkeley home in third place. We're going to quickly wrap this one up as we've got the Worth Australia Big Block Modified Series to come from the Eldora Speedway in probably about 6 or 7 minutes time. We're going to get ready and head over to the Eldora Speedway. But for round number 1 of the SimBlacks New Zealand Sim Racing National Midget Championship, it is done and dusted. Alec Inslee gets the win ahead of Harry Stewart, Joel Berkeley, Brad Oldfield, and Luke Wilson. Round out your top 5. It was a very, very entertaining 35-lap main event, to say the least. We look forward to the Midget 50-lapper next week at Lanier National Speedway. But until then, on behalf of the team here at Ultimate Dirt TV and the management behind the scenes, I'm Brett Wheeler, signing off, saying good night.